clap. There we are. We're recording. Yeah, it's all good. So let me share this with everyone. Greetings. We are working on comfort tangles, easy tangles, fun tangles, and prep for what we're going to start next week. And we're going to use these, some of them, in what we're going to do. But there's something to do today. So I'm going to switch now to my document camera. And for the recording, these are the tangles that the group in the live class feel are their comfort tangles. They're mac and cheese tangles. There are even websites called Mac and Cheese Tangling. And they're just the ones that we can do without thinking, and it comforts us, and we can end up with something. It may not be a fine work of art, but we've had a wonderful time tangling, and we can color it a little bit and set it in the window. Before we go much further, I want to show you a website, well, a Facebook page. Let's see here. Come on. That's the one I want to share right there. A Facebook page. This Facebook page is called Today's Tangles Keeping It Classic. It has a mere 9.7 thousand members. It's been up for some time, and the purpose of this page is to just stick with the beginning elements of tangling. So everything on here is going to be like it originally was 19 years ago, before things developed and grew and that sort of thing. So everything's going to be black and white. All the tangles are going to be those tangles that were given to us for by the people at Zentangle Inc. I got this wonderful book at the Zen Again conference. They had redone our book of Zentangle Inc. Tangles, and it's so beautifully done. I cannot share it with you. It's sort of like you have to be a member of the club to get the book, but it is so well done. It's such a fine teaching tool, and it's already helped me. Anyway, today's Tangles Keeping It Classic. Yeah, when you sign in, they're going to ask you a question or two, like something about tangling, just to make sure you're not a robot or something. And every week, Sandy Kelly Jones puts up a prompt. And let's see. So she explains the way the Facebook page works. And once you're involved with it, you can post, and she wants you to post your things, but they're always very simple things. She gives you the tangles, and sometimes there's more, sometimes less, and then she gives you a string. And then people throughout the week post those things. So you can see here on the things that people have made with those tangles. It's things that you probably recognize. It's things you've seen, and you could enjoy it and you wouldn't feel intimidated like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. It's going to be basically familiar stuff, and you can see how other people make cool things out of it. Funny thing, this evening when I signed on, I had planned, I'll just show you this one. I had planned a lesson this evening, and this setup here is going to look very familiar to you. And I set up the lesson without having actually looked on here. But I think a lot of you would enjoy just checking in on this Facebook page. You wouldn't feel overwhelmed, but you might get some real good ideas. There are others, and I'll think I'm going to start introducing a few of them to you every week so you can slowly explore. But anyway, I'm going to stop the share. And now I'm going to show you basically what I have been working on. Let me move my camera. Okay. So weaving tangles. We talked about that. And Huggins. And so Huggins is one of those tangles where we actually make something that sort of looks like we wove it. Here is a big tile, a 10.5 by 10.5 inch tile that I put Huggins on, the whole thing. And when you draw it this way, it is very clear that what you have are spaces in which to put tangles. Now, I'm not expecting you to get yourself a big sheet of paper and draw these things big right away, unless you just want to. But I thought we would work toward it by just picking out parts of it, working on that and working on it small on a 3.5 inch tile. So here we go. There's Huggins, and we've got 3, what we call, Zentangle ink calls them texture tangles. They're kind of filling tangles. They're tangles that you have to put inside of some border, or maybe just fade it off into the sunset or something, but they work really well to fill a space and are as a background on things. Here was one I put together, and I used a lighter pen, and I just used this print top kind of just as to put texture on the paper, just to, doesn't really say anything. It's not a focal point, but it does give you a feeling that the page, those areas of the page are not blank. Another thing that I realized when I decided I wanted to do Huggins was Huggins is really just a riff on well, because we've got that circle and we've got those lines coming off of it. You know, on well, we have that. Let's get a pen that's darker. Come on, pens. All right. Okay, so we have that circle on well in the middle of a box usually, and we just take off and land, take off and land, take off and land, take off and land. And that is exactly what this is. Each one of these little balls is basically the center part of well. I think we've done Huggins before. Well, we must have, or you guys wouldn't know about it probably. But anyway, it makes a really good reticula, and you can fill it with things. Here I've used crescent moon and poke leaf. And then I did just this as the background. And in keeping with maybe making more prayer cards, I did some of these Huggins things on a bookmark. And then I can fill them in later and maybe color it and that sort of thing. All right, at this point, are there any questions or comments? There's this too. I think in the past, we've looked at Kiko. I had never messed with Kuhl. Kind of got the German umlaut over the U. And frankly, I had never used these very much at all, really. And so I thought those would be fun to do also. They're good for, well, let me just show you. You can use them in any way, but like I said, they're best with a border. So here's this big thing you've seen me post. I'm still working on it. But I made these double borders here. And then in between them, I put print top and this neckton here. And see around on this side, I've begun to shade it in. Well, maybe here. I've done some of the shading on it already. So there, I just filled it in and it became the frame. In here, I did some poke leaf. I think we've done this. We've certainly done these things here. My goal would be that in January, we start something and maybe use all of these types of tangles, these organic tangles, and work with layering them, where we start with one so they look like a garden. And it's really not that hard if you just take it step by step. I was surprised. I had never done a big tile like this, and it wasn't that bad. You know, I've kind of had fun doing it because it's here waiting for me to work on without my having to think about it too much. So I'm hoping at the beginning of next year, we can begin something along the side, maybe not quite this big, but definitely bigger than 3.5 by 3.5. All right, down to beeswax. Here we go. These Huggins sections are exactly as big as that big tile. And you can see it's really a pretty large space to fill in. So I've finally decided to settle on putting this four-way kind of thing. So we could put 4 tangles on a tile and maybe even keep them for references. I went ahead and put the names on there, and so it's, yeah, it's a reference. So with that, get out your tile and let's think about gratitude and the week that's ahead of us. And the good things in our life. And we can thank God too for the challenges that are out there for us. We appreciate our paper and our supplies. Okay. So let's begin with our pencil, graphite. And let's put our dots in the corner, but pull it in some, about 1/2 inch from the edges. And rather than draw a line, let's just put another dot halfway between the dots and turn your tile and put another dot. And we'll end up with 6 dots. No, 9 dots. And finally, one in the middle. Okay. Now I'm going to start with a little bit larger pen than the 01. If you've got a PN, that would work well. This 05 or 03 would be good. And if you don't have it, don't worry about it. But this is basically our string. And so we're going to draw an orb around each one of these circles, each one of these dots. And I've been working on my orbs. I think it's good if when you make your orb, you come around and work real hard to end up right on that dot, on that line, that same line. And you don't have to make them real small. Make them, you know, about the size of the L on the little pencil, or even for that matter, about the size of the pencil itself, like that. Okay. Now, when we draw well, I mean, is everybody looking done? Okay. You know, we start with that circle and then these lines go off and they all kind of go in the same direction, but you never cross the line. Like if you started the line this way, you wouldn't come back and cross that line. You just keep going in the same direction. Doesn't matter which direction you choose, but just remain the same on that circle. Because of that, it doesn't matter where you start connecting these, you will know how the next line needs to be drawn. So let's, because we're going to draw this kind of C shape, take it off and land. It's a kind of a flat C, like that. Once we've drawn that first line, we know how every other line needs to be drawn because they all need to go in that same direction. Because when we get to here, we've got to draw this line this way and we go, woo, take off and land there. You get over here, and it's funny, as you turn your tile, you're going to make the same kind of deal. You're going to make this one on the inside, like that. And then if you want to turn your tile to make the same motion, you can. You've got that. Okay. Let's turn it quarter turn again. Do the same thing. Rick likes to say rinse and repeat. So that's basically what a lot of Zentangle is. You're doing a pattern, which means you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it doesn't matter so much what you're doing, is that you repeat it. And out of that repetition comes your pattern. And here we're going to close that loop like that. Close this thing. And now we have to complete these lines that kind of go in here. But again, if you follow that clue that you have to address these little orbs in the same way, in the same direction. This went this way, this went this way, and this one will go this way right there. And this, they'll come around here. Let's see. No. Yes. Oh, it goes this way and then this way like that. And you'll end up coming off of here. We know there's going to be some kind of line in this area, so we just need to kind of go the same direction, and it comes off there and it ends up there. Easy peasy. We can turn it. And you can see right in the middle here, you've got, well, actually, if I drew the lines correctly, you could see it's right there. Same kind of motion. I think it's good to realize how interconnected all these patterns are and how they're all related. Rick and Maria, in this new book, worked very hard to classify the tangles, and they name certain elements the genus of this. And this, what I'm showing you today, is going to be from the genus of texture tangles. But I think Huggins things also has its own genus. It's kind of these windmills that intersect somehow. All right. Yes, I know it's an eraser. Yeah. Okay. But I checked it before I started the class and made sure there were no Zentangle police out front. So we're cool. If you want to use an eraser, go for it. In fact, light pencil marks really do disappear once you've handled the paper a little bit. So you can't even count on it to be there when you get back. Now, in order to kind of create a nice visual separation of the things we're going to do, I'm going to show you how I worked out to get this aura border action going here. So assuming you're all about ready to go, we want to aura this line like that. And we're auraing this on the inside. of this thing. And then we turn it. And do it again. When Zentangle began, these 05 pins didn't exist. Okay.
Francis, can you mute yourself?
Oh, I wasn't paying attention to that. Thank you, Jenny. All right. Now, we want to do this other side. We're going to aura on the inside of this from here to here. So just directly across from that. There you go. And then turn your tile. And do it again. When you turn your tile, you're making the same stroke in the same position again and again. And so the chances improve that the strokes are going to be very similar. And your accuracy will improve. Okay. So we get to that point. Now, well, let me wait. See how you're doing here. Well, I'm gonna do this. Like this, I think. So rather than going on the inside here, we're going to go on the outside. We're going to come around this, over the top, and down here. So you can see we're going to go, well, let's see, around there and come over the top and meet there. I'm going to do one and that's the way we have double lines around everything and not triple lines.
Frances may try to sign in again.
Okay, I looked up there and I noticed she was gone. Anyway, you can turn your tile if you've got that deal and do it again. Okay. So this is straightforward Huggins. We can do crazy Huggins where we make the balls different sizes and we arrange them in different ways. And it's kind of fun, but this is just straightforward Huggins. We can make a maybe, 20 or 30 tiles with Huggins on it. And before we say, well, I think I'm going to try crazy Huggins. There's a lot of things that this suggests before we fill anything in. You know that when we shade this here, it makes this look like it goes under, and that creates the weaving part of Huggins. And if you wanted to, you could continue whatever you do here up here and just make these, go that way. So there are a lot of things you can do just with this to make it fun, to keep yourself entertained, but not where you're stressing about it, where you're saying, well, I wonder what would happen if. So over here, I'll just show you what I found myself doing. This was the first one of these I did. I started with 5 orbs on each side. And I said, oh, that doesn't look real balanced. So then I did this, and you've got these going that way. And then I thought, it would really be better if I had 3 of these and 2 of these. I didn't make it, but I think I shall. So you just keep trying things out until you feel like you've done everything you know how to do with that. So this is going to be our basic reticula. These are our basic reticulas. Some of you have been around since last year when I talked about reticula and fragments, and the reticula is the space that you fill up with things. Now, I'm trying to decide which one I want to start with here. I want to start with one that's a little crazy and a little fun. So I'm going to start with courant, Courant. And you don't have to write these in here. It kind of looks, I don't know, makes it not look as pretty. But that's what we're going to do, is courant. That's the first one we're going to do. And I'll just put it like that. Now, here's how you do courant. The way you start it is you've got your space like this, and you come in with your pen and you just make a random line. And this is just totally random. I think my original line here went like this, here, let's see, there, there, there. So just make some random line and use, let's switch to our O1s at this point. Come on, O1. Here we go. So it just, so you might make some sharp edges and you might make some round ones. Don't try to copy me. Do something for yourself. So what we do then is we aura this. That's all we do. We just draw that aura. So you find some place and you just begin and you decide about how far from that first line you're going to draw your second line, and you just aura one side. You can just watch if you want for now. I would suggest this first time not to put them too close together, the lines. Give yourself some breathing room. Oh, whoops. Now, not really whoops, but that's, I think I should come in here and do that. Then I'll come in from this angle. I kind of ran out there. So you got to kind of play with it. It's somehow it's a little harder than when I was working on it. I considered it a little harder than I thought it would be. And there's no right and wrong way of doing it. Just Just do it. Okay. So there we are. And there's two of them I've done. In some way, they remind me of some of the Native American art that I might see out in Albuquerque, for instance. Indigenous art. And there are probably, well, I would say if you played with this more, like this was maybe the first time I ever did it, and this was like the second time I've done this one. So I think playing with it more might give you a little more control over how you want things to turn out. But I think they're just fine like they are. It's just a design. And the better you get at keeping the lines almost exactly the same distance apart, the better it'll probably look, but it's certainly not necessary. By the time I take my pencil and I shade this, like that, maybe. My tortillons take off. I don't know where they go. Maybe the dog eats them. I don't know. Anyway. Now, if you wanted to, if you had a bigger space, you might even shade some of the interior parts if you wanted to, but you add the shading, then it begins to look like something cool. Okay. Now, here's one, Tortuga. Probably this gets its name from its turtle-like look. Anyway, I had never done it before, and I think it's kind of cool. So let's fill our next spot with that. And I put down a grid that looks more like diamonds if you look at it in this direction. So we'd be headed in kind of a 45-degree angle like that. These will be a little bigger than these other ones, but that's fine. And like that. Okay. So on the one we just finished, Courant, we started with a random zigzaggy line and just R'd it. That's all we did. On this one, we start with a grid. We can all draw something. It doesn't have to be accurate. It could be any kind of crazy grid. And what we're going to do, in essence, is we're going to put a fancy little printemps in there. And we've all done printemps. So we'll start like right there, and we'll come around and we'll just spiral inward like that. And then we fill that in. Let me do it one more time. We start over here, touching all the sides, spiral inward. And you may not get quite as many turns as I did if your spaces are a little, if you're particular or a little smaller, but that's essentially what I'm going to do right there. So I'm going to erase that.
Yeah, you're going to alternate clockwise and counterclockwise?
Oh, wait a minute, Becky, I can't hear you.
Are you going to alternate clockwise and counterclockwise?
You would ask. You probably noticed that over here, mostly I went in the same direction, but sometimes I didn't. Some people might call that a mistake. Some people might call it an anomaly. Some people might just say, oh, well, it's the way I wanted it. Becky, it's up to you. Remember, there's no Zentangle police out front. Okay, so I'm going to do this sort of printemps coming from the outside inside, and then ending with the thing that looks like fescue, like the end on fescue. So it's sort of like a spiraling fescue. I'm beginning to sound like a tangler, like somebody that is really into it, which I guess I am. So this one, I didn't have room to do it the other way. I'll just do it that way. And clearly these other ones, you know, when we get to the edges, you're kind of faking it. I think I like this better when I did it. I did them smaller. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to go back and redefine those lines a little bit. Give it some love. There we go. Okay. How are we doing? The next one we're going to be doing some fescue type things also. We've got this S shape. And we're going to put these little fescue ends on them, just like we did on Tortuga. And we're going to color those in just like we did on Tortuga. And then we're just going to aura it like we did on Courant. So this is sort of, I guess, a marriage of this one and this one. Makes tidings. So let me show you. Just watch me for a second. I'm sure this will be perfect.
I think she froze. I think she froze out.
Yeah, we couldn't tell if it was us or her.
I think it was gay.
Either that or she was very still and thoughtful with that
Yeah.
action.
Keep me in
Weird.
suspense.
I know, I was like,
We can talk about her now.
about? Which way shall I go? My S? S?
Yeah. Alex got a note saying you are the host now.
Oh,
I have all the power, I guess.
oh my gosh, don't let it go to your head.
Next, we'll be working on.
Ooh. Get your colors out. It's fun.
Oh, she looks like she's
She's
back.
back.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's
yeah, you
back.
can let her,
Oh,
you can let her
she's-
in.
Do I have to let her in? No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here she comes.
no, she's there. Okay.
Okay, she's just muted and
I don't
her
have that
camera's on.
Yeah.
Gay, can you hear us?
Blink once for yes.
I wonder how the lip readers are doing with Zoom. I bet they're hearing some interest, or they're perceiving some interesting conversation that's not meant to be heard. It's on mute.
Thought of that.
What's the cloud that's next to her name?
It's recording to the cloud. So when it's
Oh,
done,
okay.
it'll save
Okay,
there instead of on your computer.
okay.
Hmm.
Do you want to send her a message?
I don't know what I'd
The
say. and I
chat?
don't know how I'd help.
I don't know.
I'm gonna use Zoom. And
Say, have you gotten done with that S shape yet?
It was too hard.
We were in painful suspense waiting. I was just like, why is she holding that beginning part of that S so long? Is she's trying to decide which way she wants to go?
Yeah.
No.
It's a new meditation.
I don't think I do very well with that one.
Well, obviously technical difficulties.
Here she
Hey,
is.
she's back.
Yay!
Now, wait a minute.
You're
That is so weird. It was just all of a sudden, my computer just shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the heart played, the black screen, it rebooted. It's
That was a dangerous S you were making.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I can't
Well,
believe.
from our perspective, Gay, you started and you put your pen to the paper and it never moved. And you were frozen and we were all waiting with bated breath and
We're waiting
suspense.
for the S.
It's, yeah, 'cause
Well-
he said, watch me for a minute. And it was, we did. And
Hey, so now that was so weird.
it made Alex the host of the meeting.
Yeah.
Did it? Oh, well, Alex, when that happens, you're supposed to then take over the teaching function.
She did. She told us all sorts of stuff.
Oh, that's
I,
nice.
yep. Who knows?
She
if
gave us
it's-
homework.
Oh my
Yeah, there's a
gosh,
quiz
Alex.
next week, guys.
That was just that wasn't necessary homework. Oh no. Let me see here.
You
Apparently,
might want to edit that out of your lesson.
wait a
Yeah,
minute.
I think we've been
Now,
recording.
wait a
the whole
minute.
time.
Yeah.
It's apparently
Still recording.
but on my screen it isn't. No,
It
it
is on
says-
ours.
It says recording. Up
Yeah,
here.
it's recording on ours.
Mhm.
All right, hold on just a second.
I see you stopped it.
That is so weird.
So you can go back and see what we saw, because we saw you freeze and then you went away and we're
Yeah,
like,
and then I was hearing
Hey.
y'all. Y'all were making little jokes about. I heard all that. I did. I
We were
heard it.
talking about you.
Yeah, don't do that to me. Whatever. Gee. All right. So let's go back to that S. That frozen.
oh no, that's dangerous.
Mute again.
Just gee whiz. All right. Okay. No, we've got to go to the document camera here. No. There we go.
We about out of lemon.
All right. We're going to zip through this then. On this S, it is so elegant, you see, with the little fescue ends, and then make another one. So down here, sort of. And then maybe like bring one from off the side like that. And okay. And then let's just draw an arrow, draw an aura around each one of these. And then we can draw some more auras. And you can connect the auras or not. Now I'm going to set this up here for comparison's sake. This area, I probably could have added another thing like that, but that's okay. Anyway, you see they're similar, but each time you do it, if you really do it randomly, it's going to be a little different. And that's kind of the fun part. Hmm. I just realized that I made this Huggins taking these lines in a clockwise way. And I made this Huggins taking the lines in a counterclockwise way. Becky, you're right. I don't know which way I'm going. It's just. But
Both are good. Both
once you start, you just keep going that same way. It doesn't really matter. But you see, they're not the same. These things are whatever, backwards. Not really backwards, just different. And finally, let's do this nippa. I'm going to do it this way. So we start with nippa by just drawing some orbs. These orbs are smallish. I may do some that are a little bigger this time. And I'm still just using my O1 here. Okay. Random balls, orbs. And now we'll go ahead and take a minute, and then we'll do the next part. Okay, now I'm going to make some random lines, and I'm gonna, this time I'm gonna try to give them a little more expression than these. These are pretty straight. And then guess what? We're gonna aura those lines, which is what we've been doing all night. So I'm just gonna put this line here, draw behind. Yes, Jenny, drawing behind is an advanced skill. I appreciate you telling me that. I'm planning to do something at St. Christopher's Church for Advent. And we're going to make a very simple little bookmark. But I'm not going to do any drawing behind. So then we do this aura. And we come out. Okay. Okay, now I'm shading. I'm just going to shade in these areas where it looks like the Huggins is going underneath the one adjacent to it. So it looks sort of like weaving. Okay. Okay. Later, you may also want to shade around here. Our time is running out. Let us write on the back of this tile. I want to give you these names. So there's Tortuga, T-U-C-A. There's Tidings. There's Nippa. And there's Courant. C-O-U-R-A-N-T. And today is the 21st of November.
And Huggins.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. That's right. We got it. I wasn't even thinking about that. Now, these I'm going to put up and maybe supply you some links to them on our webpage or in the letter or something. But these now give you some ideas of things that you can use as backgrounds and so on. Wanted to show you real quick here. I'm using one of those things right here just to kind of fill in, just as a little background. And that's this Q thing right there. So anyway, there you go. And today's the 21st, November 21, 2022. Sign your name. Put your chop on the front somewhere. Francis is getting all into gems, and I'm sure, let's see, who else was into gems also? Oh, Dawn, yeah. So you can see these circles here and over here. Those can be gems. Those can so be gems. Or you could put a gem in the middle of the paper and then put these things around it just as a background and really make something quite lovely. So there's that. Now, was there something else I was going to tell you? I don't remember. Well, okay. I guess that's it. Oh, I wanted to have my closure You know how teachers are supposed to always have closure in their classrooms. We used to get graded on whether we did that or not. People who are not teachers would not understand. Those who are totally get it. Especially those in Texas. Bless our little hearts. All right. So closure. We have learned several things today. We have learned a lot about tangles that we can use as backgrounds and fillers. And we've learned about Huggins and how we can use it as a reticulum. And we've had a good time. There was that. And I'm so grateful for you guys. Put your things up so we can all just brag on you and just see how each person interpreted them a little bit differently. Oh, look at that. Ooh, mercy. Those are great. Wait, oh, that's Dawn and Alex, yes. Very nice. Yeah, put them up, and we'll just see how each of us did it a little bit differently. That'd be great. Okay, well, y'all take care. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll be back here Monday night, same time, same station. Take care now.
Thank you. Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, thanks.